The Knicks served up a beatdown in the ATL as they crushed the Hawks 121-105 on Saturday to win their 49th game of the season. The team also got some good news on Saturday about their captain. So let's talk about it all. We're going to do it with the founder and host of Still Knicks Fans, my guy Ron Hunter. Haven't talked to him in a while. He joins me now. Ron, how you doing?
I'm great, man. It's always a pleasure to chop it up with you. I enjoy this immensely, and it's a long time coming. I'm excited.
Yeah, a long time since we've talked some Knicks hoops. Always a pleasure to talk with you. Ron, I'm going to start with some positives, the good news here surrounding Jalen Brunson, as news came down today that the Knicks captain will make his return on Sunday at home against the Suns after missing the last 15 games. What have you liked about what you've seen from the Knicks within the last 15 games without Jalen Brunson?
Actually, this is I think it's a blessing in disguise. Anytime this happens in the midst of a playoff run for this New York Knicks team, we've seen it a couple years ago where Julius Randle had to go down for just a few games, or supposedly go down for a few games. But it was good to watch the rest of the team get a little moment to kind of work and play off of each other. Good to watch Julius see them playing with one another and believing in each other. And I feel like this is the same thing with Jalen Brunson. Obviously, the sample size is a lot greater, but it's a great time because it allows them to believe in one another, gain confidence, move the ball, and it also allows guys to be more aggressive, which we've seen Mikal definitely be more aggressive, but OG Anunoby has been shocking how aggressive he's been. He's definitely taken the reins and showed that he can be a pretty powerful scorer for the New York Knicks. But I definitely think that this is a great moment for them because I feel like they kind of look to Jalen Brunson for a lot of the scoring load, and this is allowing them to be confident in themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see with Brunson back, how the offense is, not just offense defensively as well, too, but the offense has been very, as you're mentioning there, heliocentric around Jalen Brunson. So maybe a little bit more diversity in the offense there, Ron. All right, so Knicks, they get a blowout victory on Saturday against the Hawks. 6 Knicks players in double figures in this one. What did you like from the Bakers' performance that we saw down in the ATL?
Well, this one was good because of the fact that you got to see them once again continuing to move the ball, believe in each other. I like the fact that for whatever reason, if it took this Brunson going down, whatever it is, but we finally unlocked Landry Shamet. He's finally looking comfortable out there. He's knocking down threes. He's in rhythm. He's even taking some shots that you're like, whoa, don't take that. But he's knocking it down. He's feeling confident. So that's great. We're getting to see some much needed offense from DeLon Wright. I mean, he's been put in there because of the fact that he's a solid defender. He's got good height at 6'5". Wasn't necessarily expecting that he would add too much on the offensive end, but he has been, 10 points here, 12 points there. And it all comes out to be something that the Knicks can really depend on and use, especially considering the bench woes that they've had for quite some time. And it was also nice to see Mikal have a decent game, scoring 20 points. OG continuing to be on a tear with what he's doing, dropping another 24 points. He's been great. Josh flirting with another triple-double. I think he was probably bummed he didn't get it. He was so close. He only needed one more rebound. But, flirting with it once again. And then finally, it was nice to see. Now, I believe this is 2 games back-to-back. Cat struggled 4 games ago. He had 2 games in which we didn't really notice the Cat we're used to. But these last 2 games have been traditional Cat, and it's good to see him getting back to form.
Yeah, good to see him getting back to form, aggressively attacking the hoop, particularly against smaller defenders, although he even did that against Cleveland, against some bigger defenders. So a lot to go around. That was impressive for the Knicks on Saturday against the Hawks. Now, a guy I want to talk about that you mentioned, Ron, OG Anunoby continues to impress with his strong play on both ends of the floor. He recorded his 9th straight game with 20-plus points. So my question to you here is, has OG emerged as the clear third scoring option on this team right now?
I don't know. I mean, maybe a lot of people might think that he should be that person. I will say that The only issue that I've noticed with OG Anunoby throughout this whole season is he went through a spell of he was hot, he was knocking down shots. Traditionally for the last 2-3 years, he's been shooting somewhere between 38 and 40% from three. So he can definitely knock it down, especially in the corner threes. But this year he started off okay. Then he got really cold. It looks like he almost lost his shooting angle. And then he started to get going again. He finally found it, and then he got hurt. So I think it's great that he, for the most part, has been pretty healthy throughout this whole season. It looks like he's back locked in, and he's got his shooting motion and his rhythm is down. I would say consistency-wise, he might look like the best option for best option, third scorer on the team. However, I just feel like Mikal Bridges, it comes naturally to him, and he can just score so much more easily. He's got a good dribble, good crossover. His mid-range shot is pure. It's money. He has a great layup package. It's like he does so many different things so easily. And I'm not saying OG can't do it. It's just OG has to work a little harder for it when it comes naturally to Mikal. The only problem with Mikal is just his inconsistency. So
right.
It's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is a nice problem to have. One follow-up I have for you on that, Ron, because I think you make a good point about how it comes a little easier for Mikal in terms of the shot creation. We know we've seen him do this early in his career with Brooklyn, other places. Do you think the Knicks should maybe start running some more action for Mikal Bridges because of what you just said with him as that third option and it becoming a little easier? And to Mikal's credit, he's been very good in this time without Jalen Brunson out. So should they start trying to get him a little bit more involved in different actions?
100%. I think they definitely need to do that. I think Mikal has already shown he has the ability to help carry your team. He just needs a little bit more loving as opposed to other players. Karl-Anthony Towns can get whatever he wants on his own. Jalen Brunson can get whatever he wants on his own. And now we're starting to see that OG Anunoby, with his newfound aggression, he's getting to the basket at will. He's shooting from the outside. He's knocking down the perimeter shots. He seems to be able to get what he wants off the dribble, even though people have a feeling that he has a suspect handle. He's able to get to spots on the floor. The only person I would say that needs the touches to be developed for him is Mikal, just because Mikal just seems a little bit more passive in the way in which he moves. He's aggressive, but I don't know how to describe it as best. It's just he seems to really be more in the flow of the offense. So the offense has to flow around Mikal. We saw an example of the game against the Cavaliers. He had 6 shots.
Right.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Some people might want to point the finger and blame Mikal for that, but that's more coming down from the coach. There's no way that in a game like this, when we're down Brunson and we need some extra scoring punch, that one of our better scorers is taking 6 shots and, Josh Hart is taking actually more shots than him. So it just, I think we need to work to get him open.
No, fair point there. As Josh Hart had 19 shot attempts in that game against the Cavaliers. Mikal Bridges, as you mentioned, only with 6. But you just mentioned the coach. And with today's victory, Ron, Tom Thibodeau passed Pat Riley for 4th place on the Knicks' all-time coaching wins list. You know this. There's been a lot of chatter about Tibbs among the fan base as well as the media. But do you think that the Knicks head coach is appreciated for the job that he has done here in New York in his 5 seasons? Has Tibbs been really appreciated for what he's done?
I mean, I love to point to my whole Janet Jackson theory, the whole "what have you done for me lately?" It applies to everything in New York, especially when it comes to Coach Thibodeau. I think Thibodeau has done a phenomenal job as he's helped change the climate and the culture of this organization. We really didn't have an identity before he got here, at least, dating back to the 90s, in my opinion. But, now with him being here, we already knew he was a defensive coach. That was going to be our staple. At least hopefully that would be our staple. This year, things have changed a little bit. We have, acquired 2 very dynamic players in Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges, who can give a little bit more on the offensive back, should I say a lot more. And so it's kind of changed a little bit of our identity, and we're just starting to find the defense again. But we know what the staple is. Outside of that, the winning that has developed because of it, being in playoff contention 4 out of the last 5 years, hopefully becoming a championship contender this year and going forward. Like, that's all fruit from Tom Thibodeau's coaching. And I think most Knicks fans, general Knicks fans, appreciate Tom Thibodeau. But the problem for Tom Thibodeau is the fact that he's so rigid and stubborn in his practices that it turns some of the average Knicks fan off. We just want him to be a little bit more flexible when it comes to rotations, when it comes to making adjustments in game, and then we'd be more confident. He made some incredible moves, incredible adjustments last year going forward and leading into the playoffs that we were all very happy with what we got to see. This year, it seems like he's kind of reverted back to some of his old ways, and I think that turns off the average Knicks fan. They're like, if he can't continue to progress with the team, is he really the answer? But I definitely think he has done a great job here, and he deserves all of his flowers. He's got us talking about the Knicks again, and he's got these players getting all-star appearances, getting extra salary buffs because of how much better he's made them look, and he's transitioned some of these guys to making more money for other teams. So yeah, Thibodeau deserves a lot of credit.
No, all fair points there. A lot of credit. He's absolutely been part of the turnaround of this Knickerbocker franchise for sure. Last thing for me here, Ron. Knicks right back at it tomorrow, Sunday evening at the Garden. They're going to host the Suns. What are you going to be keeping an eye on in a game where Jalen Brunson is going to make his return to the court? What do you keep an eye on? Is it the Knicks offense, how they look with Jalen Brunson? Is it how Brunson looks himself on the court? What are you focused on in this game?
Well, I'm probably going to be looking at 4 different things. First off, just Jalen Brunson's health. How good he looks out there. Is he fully healthy, or are we rushing him back? You know, I would hope that by this point he is fully healthy and the coaching staff can believe him when he says he feels good. I hope that's the case, and I hope there's no setbacks. Outside of that, I hope that they run the same game they've been running for the past time that Jalen has been out, and Jalen incorporates himself slowly into the mix. Because I think Jalen has gotten a little bit of a bad rap, and that his ISO ball and his style of play takes away from the team's overall growth and ball movement, and them their ability to be a better team. I say that a lot of that has to do with sometimes there's just moments where the guys just don't have it, and Jalen has to take it more upon himself. And then once he starts doing that, the guys just get used to deviating and allowing Jalen to do his thing, and they fall back. And we can't have that anymore. If we want to be a championship contending team, they all have to believe in each other. They all have to step up and remain aggressive, along with Jalen Brunson and what he does out there. So I'm hoping it's a combination of both. Jalen understands that they have been playing well. They're knocking shots down. They're believing in each other. So he's got to continue to cultivate that, as well as the team also has to allow Brunson to kind of get his so that it works seamlessly. And the last thing I want to see is hopefully they can still attempt to have some level of the same defense we've seen since he's been out. Because quite frankly, just being honest, we know that Jalen is not the best defender. And with him being out, everybody who had to replace him is a much better defender. So the Knicks look better as defensively as a team out there. So I'm hoping it's a combination where him coming back doesn't take us too far back defensively, and we can continue to stop the opposing team.
All good things to watch in the Knicks game against the Suns on Sunday evening. Will be a good one. One more win. Knicks will have 50 wins on the season. First time they would have back-to-back 50-win seasons in quite some time. So you got to go back to the 90s for that one. That is Ron Hunter of Still Knicks Fans. Check him out there. His YouTube channel. They do a great job covering the Knicks, all the content out there. Ron, we will see if the Knicks can wrap up this 3rd seed. They're trying to do that over the next couple of games. Something to definitely keep an eye on. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me as always. And join the Still Knicks Fans Discord, everybody.
There you go. Check that out, too. Always good.